Okay.
Hi, America.
Hi, America. Welcome to Angel and the Wiz. We have a cool show for you today, this week and next week. We're doing, our learning spot is 50 interesting facts about the body. They're really cool facts. My Aunt Pat sent them to me. We're going to do 25 this week and 25 next week. And our word of the week is integrity. I guess I should just, let me just throw my, oh, I have to change all my times. What time is it now?
45 seconds?
Okay. 45 seconds. We put the political up. And 25, 40. Because I just wanted to comment about all the scandals that are going on and stuff like that. And it's really kind of a, you know, I mean, it's a shame, really. Because, I mean, I love the country. And I don't like to see it going through this. I think this has been brought on. But let me tell you something. For those of us who are already afraid of authority and the IRS, I don't see how I just don't see how they can recover from this. They were shown that they can be manipulated and used against common citizens that don't agree with the government. That's the reason we have the Second Amendment, which means why we can keep guns, to protect ourselves from when tyranny happens, when the government tries to take over your lives.
So you guys have you have the Second Amendment to protect yourself from the IRS?
The Second Amendment was
sure the IRS.
The Second Amendment was designed to protect us from government.
I'm
It had
pretty
nothing
sure
to do with hunting.
I'm pretty sure. No.
It had
I'm
nothing to do
pretty
with
sure
hunting.
that the Second Amendment had to do with like protecting yourself from Britain.
The government. That's what Britain was at that time, the government. And once we set up our country, we never wanted to be in that position again. And we knew why. Because if they take all the guns and all the ammunition, they can do whatever they want. There's nothing you can do about it. Why do people get scared when they hear that the Homeland Security is buying up 100 million shells? I mean, ammunition for guns. What do they need? What do they need shells for? What do they need? You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff is scary. So, but anyway, so I just wanted to say that I think my personal opinion is that the IRS has damaged itself. They allowed themselves to be damaged, and they don't care about a little pipsqueak like me. I certainly hope. I do. You know, I make so little it doesn't matter. But the idea is that I really think this is going to really open up talk about another system, a system where people aren't making decisions.
You know, the funny thing is with this whole IRS scandal, how they're now going to be able to correctly facilitate next year with the additional requirements of insurance.
Oh, and Obamacare, let me tell you something. I think this is going to kill them for Obamacare. I don't think they have a prayer of that going through. I think that people are going to be so upset with them.
And it's not necessarily about being 2 or 4 against Obamacare right now.
Right.
It's about just the fact that the IRS is going to be asking more questions, and they already can't be trusted.
And they can be trusted.
Right.
That's right. And it's
You
more
know,
that
it's like
than
putting, as someone who, for the most part, supports Obamacare.
Right.
I sure as hell don't want to
IRS
to give any more information about my life to the IRS.
That's right, and
Then
that's
I have to.
Just that's no good. Well, I mean, we agree there, and I just have to say that and my observation is, I don't see how they can recover from this. What are they going to do? Then one congressman made the point. He says, you know, when you call people in, when the IRS calls people in, you don't let them say they're sorry. You don't let them say, well, we gave you lousy service. You demand, if they don't turn in the papers on time, there's penalties and fees and all that stuff. And you guys come before Congress and you don't have your act together. You tell us you don't know information. You would never accept that from us as citizens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't see how they can get out of it. I just don't see how they get out of it. Okay, so which leads us to this week's word of the week, which is
Integrity.
integrity.
446.
What's that?
446.
Okay, 446. Integrity. And
Ba-da-ba-da.
and let me share with you that the IRS has demonstrated the exact antithesis, which means the opposite of integrity. because they showed that they had no integrity. Here they are. They can seize your assets. They can take your money out of the bank. They can shut you down. They have all this stuff they can do without cause, without proper cause, which I still don't understand why the law was made like that. Everybody else, if anybody in government wants to do something to you, they got to go to a judge. They got to show cause. Not the IRS. They can do whatever they want. They have totally free reign.
Wouldn't the lack of, paying your taxes be enough cause?
Yeah, but they don't have to prove it to anybody. They can just say it. That ain't right. There's no checks and balance. There's nothing. Well, I'm just saying, as far as integrity goes, they demonstrated none. Nobody came forward. They were manipulated. They were allowed to be used, and they dug this hole for themselves. Don't blame us. Don't blame the Tea Party. You guys did it to yourself.
I actually felt bad for the Tea Party.
I did too. It was totally wrong.
I don't always agree with their ideas or their methodologies or anything that comes out of their mouths, but I actually felt bad for them.
Yeah, because they were saying 2 years ago that this was happening, and they were right. And nobody wanted to believe them.
There are a couple of, it seems that, take for example, the recent tornadoes in Oklahoma. So people will set up funds,
right?
And they'll go to the IRS and request, nonprofit status because they're accepting donations.
Right.
Well, it's very easy in times of tragedy or in times of an intense political movement for people to apply for that and misuse their funds. Scams. Do the scams.
Sure.
So I understand some of, if all of a sudden the Tea Party becomes real popular and then all of a sudden there's a huge influx in nonprofit requests.
Right.
I understand the IRS saying, well, let's look a little bit closer at who these people are.
Right.
Not necessarily. It would be not necessarily because they're, they are against the government. It would be the same thing if, all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people requesting nonprofit status for Oklahoma or Boston
I understand
or
that.
Newtown.
But this...
Well, let's hold off before we start approving everything.
If they had done the same thing to everybody, they wouldn't be in the trouble they're in now. They approved every single liberal request immediately. Every single liberal organization that asked for this, everybody that supported what they say, they put them through, they greased them through, they went right through. It was people that didn't say. It was even right to life people. It was even, and they told people, you can't have this affiliate, we will not give you this thing if you picket in front of Planned Parenthood. What? Are you kidding me?
That's bad.
That is so.
IRS, you screwed the pooch on that one.
They did.
No integrity.
No integrity. Integrity, folks. And I say this especially if you're young people and you're listening. Your word.
All 7 of you.
All 7 of you. Your word is what defines you as a human being. That's what integrity is about. In other words, if you say to somebody you're going to do something, and you do it. That's integrity. If you tell people you're going to do something and you don't do it, that shows a lack of integrity. And you know what it means? It means people will not respect the things you say the next time you say them. Because their response is going to be, oh yeah, he told us that and he didn't do it. That matters to me. When I tell people I'm going to do something, I do it. And even if I have trouble or even if I don't do it as well as I want, I don't not do it. If I say I'm going to be someplace at a certain time, I'm early. Okay? That's what integrity is. Integrity is if you believe in somebody and you have faith in them and they're your friend, you stand by them. Okay? If they make a mistake, that doesn't mean you endorse their mistake, but it means you stand by them while they deal with that mistake. That's also integrity. Integrity has a lot to do with relationships, right? If I have integrity, my wife doesn't have to worry about me cheating on her, because that
kind of goes along with trust and integrity.
Yes, and like trust is a facet that can be developed if you show integrity. If you show integrity, you develop trust. Okay, fair.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, I don't want to go nuts off on it, but I'm just saying that you, the IRS lost its integrity. Don't you lose yours. Don't follow them. They are not a role model. They have damaged themselves beyond repair. Even if they get through this, it's never going to matter, because all people are going to know is that they were used to politically attack people that the government didn't agree with, and that means we're never going to trust them again. You know, might as well go to a fair tax or a flat tax or something else and get rid of that kind of stuff going in there. Okay.
Yay!
Yay, now here we go. This should be fun. I think this is really, oh yeah, I have to say one thing too about Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson.
I was not really plugged into the large one, okay? And he is so funny, and he's so clean, and he's safe, but he's as funny as can be. I mean, I sat there and laughed. It just...
He was on this show, Dancing with the... or not Dancing with the Stars, Splash.
Uh-huh.
Where it was a celebrity diving competition.
Okay.
So it was kind of funny.
Oh,
He definitely...
I bet.
He definitely made a splash.
I'm sure that he made a splash. Okay, now here. For the next 2 weeks, we have 50 interesting facts about the body. We're going to do 25 this week and 25 next week. And
I apologize for yawning. I went to the beach today, and the sun exhausts
great.
you.
That's great. That's great.
It's the second or third time I've yawned.
Thank you, Aunt Pat. This is from my Aunt Pat, who sends us all kinds of stuff.
We love your
She is
emails.
a wonderful, I don't want to get you in trouble with your community. She is a wonderful conservative. A wonderful conservative. God bless her.
So you say it louder.
Well, I'm proud of her. She's the only other one, like probably just, now her and me and a couple others. Here you go. Okay, so here we go. This is part 1. The human body. Here it is. Here's the introduction. The human body is a treasure trove of mysteries, one that still confounds doctors and scientists about the details of its working. It's not an overstatement to say that every part of your body is a miracle. Here are 50 interesting facts about your body, some of which will leave you surprised, and I certainly was. Okay, here's number 1. It's possible for your body to survive without a surprising large fraction of its internal organs. Even if you lose your stomach, your spleen, 75% of your liver, 80% of your intestines, 1 kidney, 1 lung, and virtually every organ from your pelvic and groin area, you wouldn't be very healthy, but you would live. I find that hard to believe. During your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Actually, saliva is more important than you realize. If your saliva cannot dissolve something, you cannot taste it. Who would have thought that?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. The largest cell in the human body, not in mine, of course, the largest cell in the human body is the female egg. And the smallest is the male sperm. The egg is actually the only cell in the body that is visible with the naked eye.
And causes great frustration about every 28 days.
That's right. Predictability. Okay.
It's not predictable. Are you kidding me?
That it's coming is predictable. The strongest muscle in the human body is the tongue. Oh, don't we know that? It's been misused for years. And the hardest bone is the jawbone. Wow. Human feet, this is wild to me, have 52 bones, accounting for 1/4 of all the human body's bones. Dig this. Some of you athletes know this one. Feet have 500,000 sweat glands and can produce more than a pint of sweat a day. This information you need, right? The acid in your stomach is strong enough to dissolve razor blades. The reason it doesn't eat away at your stomach is that the cells of your stomach wall renew themselves so frequently that you get a new stomach lining every 3 or 4 days.
I want to know who decided to watch the stomach lining grow.
Listen, it's probably a grant from somebody. The human lungs contain approximately 1,500 miles of airwaves and 300 to 500 million hollow cavities, having a total surface area of about 70 square meters, roughly the same area as one side of a tennis court. Furthermore, if all the capillaries that surround the lung cavities were unwound and laid end to end, they would extend for about 992 kilometers, which I have no idea how far that is. 2,400 kilometers. So, that's what, 700 miles? Also, your left lung is smaller than your right lung to make room for your heart. Now, my heart points the wrong way.
It does.
Yeah, my heart points left. Everybody else's heart points right. My heart points left.
So is your right lung smaller than your left lung?
I don't know. Oh, no, I only finished up to there. You gonna go?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sneezes regularly exceed 100 miles per hour.
Bingo.
While coughs clock in at about 60 miles per hour. I really want to know who also was the guy that decided to take the thing and be like,
right?
Sneeze.
Well, but it's also very important when you sneeze to let it out. Whether you use a napkin or whatever, a tissue, it's doing it for a reason. You shouldn't stifle it. It's not healthy.
Your body gives off enough heat in 30 minutes to bring half a gallon of water to a boil.
Wow. That's
Your body has enough iron in it to make a nail 3 inches long. Unless you're suffering from anemia and you don't have enough iron
you
at all.
can't make nails.
Can't make nails. Earwax production is necessary for good ear health.
Okay.
It protects the delicate inner ear from bacteria, fungus, dirt, and even insects. It also cleans and lubricates the ear canal. You can always tell when I'm starting to get a sinus infection when I clean my ears and I actually have more wax than normal come out.
Right.
And then within about 3 to 4 hours, end up with a pain in my inner ear.
Wow.
Yeah, and then here comes the sinus infection. Everyone has a unique smell, except for identical twins, who smell the same. It's interesting to note that identical twins smell the same.
Yeah, but isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess we do. It's like fingerprints and eye retinas and stuff like that. Oh, I don't want to get into that. We just found out that one of the things in Common Core is they want to do eye scans. Oh no! Then they did it in one school without telling the parents. They scanned the kids' eyes.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Your teeth start growing 6 months before you were born, which is why 1 out of every 2,000 newborn infants has a tooth when they are born.
Yeah, and you only get 2 of them. You only get 2 sets. Be nice if you could keep them growing.
A baby's head is 1/4 of its total length, but by the age of 25 will only be 1/8 of its total length, and that's because people's heads grow at a much slower rate than the rest of their bodies, which is probably why my nephew's head is bigger than normal. His body hasn't caught up to it yet.
Right.
Babies are born with 300 bones, but by adulthood the number is reduced to 206. Some of the bones, like the skull bones, get fused into each other, bringing down the total number. The reason that they have more bones is because they have to squeeze their bodies through a very tiny birth canal.
Right, okay.
And so they have to, that's why babies come out and their heads are shaped funny, because they literally get pushed
Right.
through.
Okay.
And then the body will fix itself and then start to fuse those bones together in the head. So I think it's like the head and maybe the shoulder or clavicle area.
But it's fascinating stuff.
It's not possible to tickle yourself. This is because when you attempt to tickle yourself, you are totally aware of the exact time and manner in which the tickling will occur, unlike when someone else tickles you.
Wow.
Less than 1/3 of the human race has 20/20 vision.
Okay.
This means that 2 out of 3 people cannot see perfectly.
But
that doesn't mean that 2 out of 3 people have glasses or contacts or need corrective eyewear.
No.
Your nose can remember 50,000 different scents.
Right.
But if you are a woman,
oh God,
you are a better smeller than men, and will remain a better smeller throughout your life.
There you go.
I'll walk into stores and I'll smell something funny,
Right.
and I'll be like, I don't like the way it smells in here. And
Okay.
Adam's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe that's why Tina didn't like if we would be going out in the old days when you could have smoking in restaurants. Boy, she just picked right up on that. She hated, and she wasn't very quiet about it either.
Yeah, I could. It's been happened a couple of times where I'll smell something, and I'll say, "Can you smell that?" And Adam's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, it smells like brownies," and he's like, "I don't smell anything." And then he's like, "Oh, my sinuses, my allergies must be acting up." But in reality, it's just because he sucks as a smeller. Good to know.
Rejected as a seller. Okay.
The human body is estimated to have 60 100,000 miles of blood vessels. That's a lot of blood vessels.
I'll do a couple we did last. Okay. The 3 things, this is funny. The 3 things pregnant women dream most of during their first trimester are frogs, worms, and potted plants. Scientists have no idea why this is so, but attribute it to the growing imbalance of hormones in the body during pregnancy.
It's a good thing to know. If I think I'm pregnant, I gotta...
If you start thinking about frogs and worms,
and
then it's time to get it checked. There. Okay, the lifespan, this is funny, the lifespan of a human hair is 3 to 7 years on average. Every day, the average person loses 60 to 100 strands of hair, but don't worry. You must lose over 50% of your scalp hairs before it, it is apparent to anyone.
It was funny
the last 3.
With my sister when she was pregnant, her hair was growing in faster and darker. And then now that she's given birth and her hormones are coming back together to a normal level, her hair is growing back slower and lighter. Like you can see, she showed it to me because she colors her hair on top, but she lifted it up underneath and you can see underneath that there was like an inch of
new growth
that was clearly lighter from before. I was like, that's really bizarre.
Excuse me.
The human brain cell can hold 5 times as much information as an encyclopedia.
A single cell?
Yeah.
Wow.
Your brain uses 20% of the oxygen that enters your bloodstream and is itself made up of 80% water. Though it interprets pain signals from the rest of the body, the brain itself cannot feel pain.
Wow.
The tooth is the only part of the human body that can't repair itself.
Yeah, and ain't that a shame?
It's a pain in the butt.
It sure is.
Your eyes are always the same size from birth, but your nose and ears never stop growing.
Well,
so we have some big eyes when we're...
So does this really keys you up, huh, for next week, show 114, to see what the next 25 are like? Mm-hmm. Wow, I bet. Excuse me. Well, now, because we talked about integrity, and I think one of the places that, I really think this is true too, one of the places, in America at least, where I think people see integrity and they see quality and stuff like that, is Disney World, and Disneyland, the Disney parks. They try to, they've always impressed me like that. I've always loved to come here because it allows you to like recharge your batteries and stuff like that. And so the reason I'm telling you is because I felt with integrity being the word of the week, we would close the show with Disney Dreams, which is a video that I made, and I have to thank the Disney company because they gave me all the video, and I just used my own music. But so how are we doing time with? Okay, we have a minute or two. So, what else should we cover besides? We did pretty good this week. You know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get the time when we started the learning spot about bodies.
Okay.
So I'll have to make sure.
Okay.
Now I'll have to track that one down. But I got the others, so that's really good. Pardon me. So. Can I tell them? This is the second time we did this show. we that's why we know some of the facts about the human body, because before we got a chance, we got to like 25 minutes into the show, and there was a power surge, and everything shut down, and there we were, and we lost all that we had done. So I think we did pretty good. We did well, I think we did okay.
Life goes on.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Life goes on.
Yes. Well.
So, anyway, I started a prayer journal.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I felt that I know I wanted to pray more, but I wanted to feel that it had some sort of meaning.
Okay.
Because anybody can ramble off in their head, like a wish list for God.
Prayer is good.
And I just thought that and I just felt to me that was so hypocritical, because you just. God, oh, please, God, don't let this happen. Oh, God, this, God, that, And I just felt that they do that so second nature, that it's not, that there's not really a true meaning behind your prayer.
Right.
So I decided that I'm going to start writing my prayers down. So every evening I, write my prayer. I thank God for whatever blessings he's given me that
Sure,
day, and
right.
then I ask him to look out for people and pray for people.
Well, but that's good. I am a profound believer in prayer. People prayed for me when I went to the hospital. I know people, were praying for me, and I really, really appreciate it.
It was funny because I was telling, because there was an issue at my house with the spider,
Okay.
and I ended up spending the night at Adams,
Okay.
and I wrote out on my journal, my prayer journal.
You left the house because of the spider?
I'm arachnophobic. I can't.
You must be if you left. Actually, I didn't know you actually left the house. I thought you just sprayed it till they couldn't move.
I left the house.
Sprays don't work.
Anyway,
Yes,
so
go on.
I took the journal out and I was writing it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you keep a diary. I said, well, it's not really a diary.
No.
And when I explained it to him, he goes, I really like that idea.
Oh, good.
And I was like, that's a very honest response from him. So
Oh, good.
anyway,
Okay.
Bye, America.
We're in real trouble. Bye.
Do something good every day and volunteer at the local animal shelter.
Look out across America, strange at night or scenes, born in the hearts of a million men, having Disney dreams, to be young and free, young in love. Look out across America, deep into her eyes, laughing, sure she's glad she's here under Disney skies. When we're young and free, young in love. So look out across America, love her as she grows, for all the dreams you've seen come true, and all the walls you've known, who are young and free, young
and sung by the Wizard.